scheduled to start this event are on the dock and ready to go. So we're going to start it out with Zhu Lu.
I haven't seen these girls ski before, Rod. First time for me. I don't think I was on site when they skied. It's awesome that China are into it. They weren't in barefooting when, I last competed way back in the day, and hopefully Zhu Lu here can stand up on a deep water start. Yeah, they're going to give her credit for that. So she's in the book for an overall finish. Wave, wave. Sit down, stand up. This is just fantastic.
Oh,
Going for a rope in teeth. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Rope in teeth. Bit of old school. Great work. There's a 1 foot. That is great skiing from Zhu Lu from China. Put your hands together. That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's some good stuff right there. Standing up a whole pass, getting
that is awesome.
Tricks nailed down there. And I'll tell you, I think what they've been doing is leaving the site and going somewhere and practice and coming back. I've been really impressed. We saw the Chinese men on the jump, and boy, they were landing jumps and getting out 12+ meters. It was really impressive. I was really excited to watch them, and boy.
The officials are cutting these girls a little bit of slack. The communication barrier is not great between us guys and them. We're a little bit lazy and haven't learnt Chinese, and I think we need to get a little bit more savvy on that before the next Worlds. But it's great that these girls, if they do turn up a little late, Rod, that barefooting's letting them do that. I think way back in the day when, back in the 80s and 90s, I just don't know whether that would have happened. But I just think it's great that the sport's grown and evolved like that, and it's great to see the girls, if they don't turn up to the dock because of a communication barrier. And I knew there was the other day. They moved an event and they couldn't even get hold of the Chinese team. So I think it's fantastic these guys are out here. Got a little bit of news here, guys. Some really big news, actually, Rod. Richard Gray from Canada, the former World Barefoot Council president, has handed me a number. It is 12850, 12,850 points. The new Open, Men's and Junior Boys World Record holder is Mr. Jackson Gerard from the USA. 12,850 points is the new Men's and Junior Boys World Record. Did you think that had ever happened?
Wow. And that doesn't happen overnight either. We should have some dialogue here with Richard in a minute and just talk about the process and when that was skied, how it came to be ratified and now accepted. So congratulations, Jackson Gerard. We've got skier on the water, Zhu Lu from China, pass number 2.
Here she goes again. This is fantastic. She's 1 foot, one hand. Sit down, stand up. She's doing a repeat run. She's training for the semi-finals already, mate. You see that? Rope in teeth. Will she go from the rope on neck? There's teeth. Fantastic. Come on, all you Aussies and Kiwis down there. Give her a cheer as she goes by as loud as you can. Give her some support. Come on. There's the reverse 1 foot. Bonus trick in the second pass, Zhu Lu. Well done. That's fantastic effort.
That's awesome. 2 stand-up passes. Zhu Lu of China. Outstanding job, young lady.
So we do have Richard here. We'll have a quick chat to him. We're not going to get in depth too much about who agrees and who disagrees with world records. But, Rich, I know you were in there a couple of days ago. Speaking to some of the committee about this record, I didn't look in it. I asked Jeff Blau, you're looking at records, and he said, yep, but it's, it must be a tough process, eh?
Yeah, it is a bit of a tough process. You want to get it right, Brett, not just for the person that's got the pending record, but almost more importantly, the person that holds the record. I got to be true to them and make sure that whoever's doing a new record is going to do it right and earn it. And that's what we just wanted to make sure everything was right. And it took us a couple of days. The World Championship being here and being busy with that kind of impacted also.
Yeah. That's awesome, Rich. And so the difference between sitting in the boat and judging and then doing the record, are they using slow-mo and stuff? Like, I've been out of it for a while, but back in the day they were doing slow-mo and they could time the run again and all that sort of stuff. It's sort of basically the same thing as what it was. And I guess the quality of the videos these days is a lot better too. So I reckon you probably have to be doing it better today than what you did 10 years ago.
You probably do. I mean, that's a question we're asking ourselves. Are we, is it a higher standard today than years ago? The video quality is unbelievable. And yeah, we time it off the video instead of a stopwatch now. So the timing is exact down to the frame. But yeah, it probably is a little more difficult today than 20 years ago, say.
Yeah, that's the sport evolves like that too, and we've got to move with the times. And thanks for that little insight, mate. I know it's a pretty serious thing, and you guys take it serious. And like you said, you've got a defending world record holder, and a pending one, and we've got to get it right. And I'll hand it over to Rod to call this young Chinese.
Deep water start behind the boat. And there's a plant. Stand up. Oh, out the front door. Got pulled. Was skiing on the table behind the boat. And caught a toe, went down. But the start looked good. Should be a good scoring start there. We'll see if the judges are going to give her credit. But solid run there. So one of the things the pool here can thank the Chinese ladies for coming back and skiing adds participants to the group, and instead of 9, it would mean 10 ladies will move on to the semifinals. So by having the 3 Chinese ladies come and get into the mix here, it puts the numbers at a position where 10 skiers instead of 9 will be moving to the semifinals. So that's a big deal for one skier especially.
Yeah, Rod. Richard's just back here going, let him ski, let him ski. I'm sure the girls in the bubble spots, like 9, 10, you know what I mean? If these girls don't quite ski enough here, the Chinese girls get in the semi, there's going to be a couple of happy girls that possibly, if they go that way and do the 10, I'm not sure how they break the size of the groups down, whether it's a percentage thing. And I know there's been a little bit of debate, not debate, but, some communication over the different size age divisions and not enough people, and they're playing around. But, I'm sure there's a World Barefoot Council meeting after each Worlds, and that could be a topic of conversation next week a little bit more, so it's a little bit more clear, and what happens with ties in a competition and all that stuff. But this stuff always happens at a big event. Everyone's so sensitive when they're here. They're all on their game. Everyone's switched on. We're all skiing well. It comes down to millimetres and, centimetres and, points of seconds and all that sort of stuff. And that's how we grow the sport. At the end of the tournament, any issues like that will be brought up and up for discussion. And, that you might see a couple little changes here and there, but that's evolving the sport, and it's I think it's going in the right direction.
Yeah, so we do have you kind of nailed it a little bit there, Brett, with your perception of where things stood. But I'm seeing Lexi McCulley coming in at 5,100 points, top score right now, with Ashley Stebbings at 4,500. But we still don't see a score for Georgia Groan. So Georgia had a pretty solid run as we watched and talked through it. So we'll wait and see how that impacts the standings right now.
Yeah, Georgia, I guess, might be a little bit more in front of Ash, but Ash did the 4.540s, remember, in the first pass, where Georgia only did the 2. And Ash did the 4 1-foot turns, but Georgia got a little bit more done in the second run. So it's going to be a little bit shaky as our young girl from China goes down on a deep start. But I think she may have got credit for that, Richard. I think those judges, they definitely need to give her that one. She was up and about.
Yeah, Yu Maling had a really nice start right behind the boat on the table in her first pass, so I think she got paid for that start. That's probably a repeated start that she wouldn't get credit for, but either way, I think she'll be happy that she got it on the first pass and put some numbers on the board here. So we did get a score for Zhu Lu of 110 points.
Yeah, so it will be interesting, right? I forget the figures we're pumping out for Georgia, but I'm pretty sure it was around about in that 4,000 point range on her first pass, somewhere there, 3,500, 4,000. And I reckon she got, a couple of back-to-backs and then maybe fell on the 7 back. So she's still going to get, it's going to be tight. It's hard to say because Ash had that little bit. I think Ash's first pass was a little bigger but zeroed out on the second, except for a back deep, where Georgia probably had a little more consistent 2 runs. But, yeah, I don't think there'll be much in it. Maybe 1,000 points. Georgia might be in that 5,500 point range possibly, but we'll just wait. I guess they're in there just deliberating those scores.
Yeah, I think it's a safe bet to say Georgia Groan's in the top 3 for sure out of this pool. But, it's pretty interesting here. I'm looking at the standings, and with adding that extra skier, we don't have Georgia posted here, but adding a 10 women advance pool, Terry Larson-Jones makes it in. Now all of a sudden she's in moving on to the semifinals, gets to ski with the big girls. So you never know how things work out, man. It's just it's twists and turns all the way through. You're down 1 minute, you're up minute. You just never know. You always got to stay positive because you never know how things are going to work out.
Yeah, we've seen it all right over the years. I've been a part of it, you know what I mean? Like, witnessed it myself, been involved in a few things where it's, you know, up and down. You're not sure whether you're going forwards or backwards, but it's great fun, and definitely if that's the way a couple of officials make that decision, I'm sure there's going to be a couple of happy young ladies, and we have another young Chinese lady on the dock.
Yeah, we've got Duan Zukun coming in from China. Final skier of this event with a nice front flying dock start. On the water, planing out behind the boat inside the wake. And got the start, hanging right in there. Look at that nice 3-point. Gosh, you'd think she went to ski with Ron Scarpa for a while, wouldn't you, with that kind of a start? There it is, loading the handle for the teeth. And gets the teeth hold in. Nice job. Stand up, sit down.
Yeah, great little pass. Definitely looked like. I'm not sure whether Ron has skied with these guys, but she 3-pointed out of the wake, so she got a 3-point happening. Half stood up, couldn't really finish the stand up in the wake there, right, and she edged out into a 3-point and stood up outside the curl. So.
Yeah,
I think she's practiced that one.
Very comfortable. I wasn't sure if she was going to drop down into the knee ski there with the way she had she had her feet right underneath her and the butt on the beautiful 3-point. I mean, just under control the whole time. That was a great start.
Yeah, it was really good. And I'm not sure whether they're going to see the Raging Bull down here. I spoke to him a couple of weeks ago when I was in Texas, and yeah, I don't know whether Ron will make it or not. It'd be great if he just made a bit of a cameo towards the end of the week. It'd be great to see him up here, one of the icons of the sport. You know, one of the greatest, skiers of all time, without a doubt. 4 overall world titles, he won gold medals in every event, trick slalom and jump multiple times. World record holder, you know what I mean? Like, pioneer. Yeah, what Ron did for the sport was unbelievable. Good close friend of mine. We were obviously we were rivals. Probably friends first and rivals second in the end. You know, we spent a lot of time together from the X Games in '95 when we really got to know each other. And he's done a lot for the sport, and it'd be great to see him here. And maybe we should get Seipel here as well and have a bit of the Matador versus the Raging Bull, slalom off or trick off or something. That'd be a bit of fun, wouldn't it?
That would be a blast. Yeah. Well, they've set up something in the U.S. and. I think some of the people here were instrumental behind it, but Ski with the Legends, they started a thing where Ron Scarpa and Mike Seipel would come out and you could pay certain money for charity purposes and go out and ski with them for a day. And boy, what an experience that is. I've spent a lot of time in the boat with Ron over the years down at his schools, and you and other people, and also Mike Seipel. But just, boy, some of the best memories of my life are being in the boat with those guys. So here we go, final pass. Take it away, Brett.
Here's Duan. She comes in again on a second pass. Wave this time. Oh, a bit of a heavy fall there at the end of that pass.
Yeah.
But I need you Aussies and Kiwis when she gets on that jet ski down there. We need a big cheer for the Chinese. They don't have a lot of people with them. I think they've pretty much just got their team. There's a team of 4 or 5, pretty tight-knit group, but give this young lady a bit of cheering, and we may not see her in the second round, so this might be the last time we see her at the Worlds. I think the slalom's over. I'm not sure whether the girls jump, but this could be the last time we see Duan in the tournament.
Yeah, great representation from.
Total score of 160, so good on her. Probably maxed out there, Rod. That's all you can do, you know what I mean? The Chinese are in the sport pretty late, so they're a little behind the rest of the world when it comes to how fast they're getting on with it. But put your hands together, guys. Big cheer down there, Aussies. We'll know you support one of our Asia counterparts. Well done.
Woo!
Great job.
Yeah, here's my observation. So first of all,